3 words stop me cold. She's like that. I hear it through a stack of folded linens 90 minutes before I walk my own bride down the aisle. Coralie, my assistant coordinator, is whispering it to the florist behind the gift table. Not about Tara, about Ashworth, Tara's sister, the one in seafoam green, already pacing the cocktail hour like she owns the parquet. I don't catch the rest. A groomsman calls my name, and I let it go, because today isn't about rumors. Today is about the woman I love, standing at the end of a petal-strewn aisle in the Magnolia Room, and about my mother, Odessa, sitting in the second row in her good blue dress, dabbing her eyes before the ceremony has even started. On the sweetheart table stand, a single microphone waits, chrome and silent, the reception's whole voice folded up inside it, saying nothing yet. I don't know yet that it'll speak for me before the night's over. I run event coordination for a living. I know a banquet event order the way other men know a batting average. Cold, exact, memorized. Cocktail hour flip at 6:45. Sweetheart table dressed by 6:50. Toast sequence locked by 7. I wrote today's timeline myself, run of show taped inside my tux jacket pocket, like a cheat sheet from my own wedding. Funny thing about knowing every minute of a night, you think that means you control it. The ceremony goes clean. Tara's hand doesn't shake when I put the ring on it. Her voice does, just barely, on the word always, and I feel that tremor travel straight up my arm and settle somewhere behind my ribs. We kiss. The room stands. Somewhere near the back, Ashworth claps a half-second late, like she's watching a play she didn't buy tickets for. Cocktail hour passes in a blur of handshakes and someone's cousin spilling bourbon on the escort card table. I fix it in 90 seconds. Reprint, realphabetize, done. Because that's the job, even on the one night I'm not technically working. The string quartet wraps their set, right as the cafe bulb string lights overhead flicker on, exactly where I marked it on the floor plan diagram 3 weeks ago. Small victories. I let myself enjoy one. Coralie finds me by the bar. Everything's holding, except... She stops herself. Except what? Nothing, probably nothing. Coralie, I know her tells. She's got a pen behind her ear and a clipboard gripped too tight for nothing. It's just... Ashworth asked the DJ if she could say a few words during toasts. He told her toasts are locked to your side and Tara's maid of honor, per the run of show. She didn't love that answer. Coralie shrugs, already talking herself out of the worry. Probably nothing. I let it go a second time. That's my mistake, if I'm being honest with you now. 2 warnings, and I filed both of them under nothing. Somewhere behind me, a groomsman refills his glass for the 4th time, and the vendor manifest on my clipboard says 40 minutes until dinner service. 40 minutes. I remember thinking that felt like plenty of time. Dinner service starts smooth. Chicken or catfish, your choice, and half the room picks catfish because we're outside Montgomery and nobody here apologizes for that. My mother sits 2 tables from the head table, next to my aunt, laughing at something, her hand pressed flat against her chest the way she does when she's trying not to cry from happiness. I catch her eye across the room, and she mouths, "I'm so proud of you." I mouth it back before I even think about it. Then the toasts start, and everything tilts. Ashworth stands first, not invited to, not on my run of show, but she stands, glass in hand, and taps it twice with a fork like she's been waiting all night for the sound. "I just want to say," she starts, "that Tara deserves someone who actually respects where she comes from." Polite laughter, unsure what to do with it. "Not someone whose mother thinks our family isn't good enough." The room goes quiet. In that specific way, rooms go quiet when nobody knows if a joke just landed wrong or a bomb just went off. My mother's fork stops halfway to her plate. I look at Tara. Her face has gone the color of the tablecloth, jaw tight, eyes darting between her sister and my mother like she's trying to solve an equation with no time left on the clock. "Ash," she says, low, warning, "sit down." "I'm just saying what everyone's thinking." "Sit down."
Ashworth sits, but the damage is loose in the room now, and it doesn't go back in the bottle. 15 minutes later, my mother crosses the dance floor to find me near the DJ booth, and I hear her say to me, quiet, private, "Baby, I need to talk to Tara before this goes any further. I don't know what her sister told her, but..." "What told her?" "I don't know, Elliot. That's the problem." She walks toward the sweetheart table. I follow 2 steps behind, close enough to hear, not close enough to stop what happens next. My mother touches Tara's shoulder, gentle, the same hand that's touched my shoulder my whole life. She says something soft. I only catch the tail end. "Never said that about your family, sweetheart. I would never..." And Tara's hand comes up. The sound cracks through the reception hall louder than the DJ's speakers, louder than 200 conversations dying at once. My mother's head snaps sideways. Her hand flies to her cheek. Somebody screams, or maybe that's just the silence rearranging itself into shock. Ashworth, from her seat, doesn't look surprised. She looks satisfied. And that detail lodges itself in me like a splinter I won't dig out for another hour. I don't remember crossing the floor. I remember standing between my mother and my wife, and I remember the microphone stand 3 feet away, cold, chrome, catching the uplighting, still and silent, waiting on me the way it waited when I walked in tonight. I pick it up. I've never once, in 11 years of running receptions for other people, used the mic for anything but a timeline announcement. Cake cutting in 5 minutes, last call for the bar. Tonight, I break my own rule. I need everyone's attention. My voice comes out steadier than I feel. The DJ cuts the music mid-song, and the silence that follows has weight to it, a physical thing pressing on 200 shoulders. Somebody needs to explain to me what just happened, right now in front of everybody who watched it happen. Tara's hands are shaking. "Elliot, please, not like this. You slapped my mother at our wedding, in front of her sister, her friends, people who drove 4 hours to be here." I'm not yelling. I'm doing something worse. I'm calm, and the calm cuts sharper than shouting ever could. "So yeah, like this." My mother reaches for my sleeve. "Elliot, baby, it's okay. It's not okay, Mama." First time all night I've raised my voice, and it's not even at Tara. It's at the room, at whatever's been building under the surface since Coralie whispered 3 words behind a stack of linens. Somebody's going to tell me what's going on, or I swear to God this reception is over. Ashworth's chair scrapes back like she's about to bolt. I point at her before she gets the chance. "Sit down. You too." Here's what comes out, piece by piece, dragged into the open under 200 pairs of eyes and 1 very unforgiving microphone. Ashworth had called Tara 3 days before the wedding, not to wish her well, to tell her that my mother had said, supposedly second-hand, third-hand by the time it reached Tara, that Ashworth's side of the family was trash dressed up nice for one night. A lie. A complete manufactured lie. The kind that only works because it's whispered right before the one moment you're too overwhelmed to fact-check it. "Why would you say that to her?" I ask Ashworth directly, mic still in my hand, my mother's hand now gripping my other arm. 3 days before her wedding? Ashworth won't meet my eyes at first. Then she does, and there's no apology in it, just something tired and resentful. "Because Tara's always been the one everyone loves, the good sister, and I watched you two build this whole perfect thing, and I just wanted..." She stops. "I wanted her to doubt it, just a little." "That's not a reason," Tara says, and her voice cracks wide open. "Ash, that's not a reason, that's cruelty." I know that now." Tara turns to me and to my mother, tears cutting tracks through foundation she spent 2 hours getting right this morning. "Odessa, I am so sorry. I heard what I thought you said, and I let 3 days of hurt sit in me instead of just asking you, and I have never done anything like that in my life. I don't even recognize the person who did that 10 minutes ago." My mother, God bless her, reaches out and takes Tara's hand before I can decide how I feel about any of it. "I forgive you," she says. "Doesn't mean it didn't hurt, but I forgive you." "That's not enough," I say, and both of them look at me surprised. I'm not saying that to be cruel. I'm saying trust doesn't just reset because we found out why. My mother got hit at her own son's wedding. That doesn't unhappen because the reason makes sense now. The room is dead silent, waiting on me, the same way it waits when I call cocktail hour or cue the first dance. I set the microphone back down on its stand. It goes quiet again, chrome catching the light, the room's whole voice folded back up inside it. We're not calling off the marriage, but we're calling off today. No first dance, no cake. I'm not standing up here pretending the last 20 minutes didn't happen while a DJ plays our song. I look at Tara. We love each other. I'm not walking away from that, but we need actual trust before we put rings on it and call it done. And right now, we don't have that. We have a good reason for a bad moment. That's not the same thing. Guests leave in staggered, awkward waves, some hugging Tara on the way out, some just squeezing my shoulder and saying nothing at all, which somehow says more. Ashworth leaves last, alone, no one walking her to her car. My mother stays. Tara stays. The three of us end up at the sweetheart table an hour later, chairs pulled close, catfish gone cold on 3 plates nobody's touching.
I should have told you what Ash said the second she said it, Tara tells me, voice raw from crying. Instead, I let it rot for 3 days and it came out sideways at the worst possible second on the one person who didn't deserve it. I should have listened when Coralie tried to warn me twice, I say. I filed it under nothing because I didn't want anything to be wrong today. My mother laughs, a small, tired, real laugh. Y'all are both gonna be fine. Just talk to each other before you talk about each other. That's the whole lesson, wrapped up in one very expensive tablecloth. Coralie finds us an hour later, still at the sweetheart table, and starts quietly boxing up the untouched catfish without asking a single question, which is exactly why I trust her with my whole business. Strike times whenever you're ready, she says, gentle, no rush tonight. Thank you, I tell her, and I mean it for more than the cleanup. Tara wipes her face with the back of her hand, mascara long gone, and looks at me like she's bracing for the answer before she even asks the question. Do you still want this after tonight? I want this, I say, and I put my hand over hers on the table, careful, testing the weight of it. That's fair, she says, quiet. That's more than fair. We reschedule for 8 weeks out. Same hall, same florist, same DJ, but this time I add one line to the run-of show that's never appeared on a banquet event order in the history of the trade. 15 minutes, reserved, mother and bride, alone, before a single guest walks in. No microphone needed for that conversation, just 2 women choosing honesty over assumption, this time, on purpose. Ashworth doesn't get an invitation to the second date. Tara sends her a letter instead, 3 pages, handwritten, laying out exactly what needs to happen, an apology to Odessa, in person, unprompted, before she's welcome back in either of their lives. I don't read the letter. Tara tells me that's between her and her sister, and for the first time all night, I hear the sound of a boundary actually holding. 8 weeks later, the mic stand holds nothing but silence again. No crisis, no confession, just quiet, waiting for a toast that this time gets to be exactly what it's supposed to be.
Tara and I dance to the song we didn't get the first time. My mother watches from the second row in a new blue dress, not crying from hurt this time, just crying because it's finally, actually real. The slap happened, the wedding almost survived it, but the marriage, the one built slow, out of hard conversations instead of easy silence, that one's gonna last. His wife slapped his mother at the reception. What she didn't know was what that slap was about to cost her and what it would take to earn it all back. That part of the story starts right after the vows nobody thought they'd get to say twice.